This meeting of the board is now reconvened in open session. The time is 11:52. Do I have a motion to consider E1?
I move to consider E1, approval of recommendations from the naming committee for the naming or renaming of areas or portions of Northside High School.
Do I have any comments from my colleagues? Please vote. Oh, okay.
Ann, can you repeat the motion? I'm sorry.
Trustee Song? Your discussion.
I just wanted to make a motion to postpone the item, but if that's not in order right now, then I don't need to make a comment. Thank you. But my button's not working, so
So if there's
I'm a
no,
yes.
if there are no comments, then we need to vote. Please vote.
I'm still confused about why we're voting right now.
Okay, let me explain. Before we left, we made a motion to pull it from the consent.
Yes.
And that's all we did was made a motion to pull it consent. Right now, we have to consider it.
Dr. Allen?
Yes.
So all you need is a motion and a second, like we normally do when you're bringing something, and then we're in the discussion portion. So you either can discuss or someone can make a motion, like a motion to amend or a motion to postpone. You don't have to vote on the motion to consider it.
Okay.
Do you see-
Go ahead.
Okay. Superintendent House, I would like further information about this item to ensure that we are properly following HISD policy. Therefore, I move to postpone this item until our September board meeting.
Second, Santos.
Are there any comments or questions from my colleagues? Please vote. Nine for, 0 against.
Madam President, the administration has brought to my attention that there is a corresponding donation to item E1 in item I2A, which is on the consent agenda. So if you are postponing consideration of item E1, it might be in order to postpone consideration of the corresponding donation in item I2A on page 1 of 11. And it needs to be pulled from consent. It is the second donation that's on page 1 of 11.
Do I have a motion to pull I1A?
I2A, the second donation.
I2A, second donation.
So moved. Second.
Please vote. Nine for, 0 against.
And now, Madam President, that item is now pulled from the consent agenda, so I would suggest you entertain a motion to consider that item. And then if anyone wanted to make a motion, it would be appropriate, once it's before you, to postpone.
May I have a motion to consider the item?
So moved. Second.
And ask for discussion.
Is there any discussion?
I move that we move I2A to Thursday. We said Thursday?
Was it the September board meeting, Trustee Sung?
Oh, I'm sorry, the September board meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Please vote. Eight, 4, 0 against.
I just want to make sure, okay, and my votes are being recorded.
What'd you say, Trustee Flynn Villaseka?
I just wanted to make, now that I'm back, I just wanted to make sure that my votes are being recorded.
Her votes are being recorded.
We can barely hear you.
Somebody say we've been joined by trustee from Villaseka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've been joined by Trustee Flynn Villaseka.
All right, thank you.
A motion to pull from the table, I-7 would be in order now.
I move that we pull I7 from the table.
Have a second? Second. We need to vote?
Yes.
Please vote. Any discussion? Please vote.
The vote's to pull it from the
Yes.
table, right?
That-
Bring
that
it
is
back
correct.
out.
Eight, 4, 0 against. I-7 is pulled back to the table.
Since there's nothing else before you for consideration, I-7 is before the board. You can ask for any questions or discussion.
Is there any discussion on I-7? No one's in the queue? Please vote. Eight, 4, 0 against. Now for consideration to accept the balance of today's agenda by consensus. We are now ready to consider the balance of today's agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the balance of today's agenda by consensus? Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions from my colleagues? If not, please vote. Eight, 4, 0 against. We have now come to the portion of our meeting for the hearing of the community. We are glad you are here and look forward to hearing your views. Only those who registered by 9:30 a.m. today may speak this evening. Copies of handout materials must have been provided to board services by 9:30 a.m. today. We have 7 speakers registered this evening. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes each. I'd like to remind speakers that when addressing the board, please stay on topic and refrain from naming individuals, especially students, as they are protected under the Federal Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. However, naming your own child is permissible in the course of stating your concern. Please understand that this public forum does not allow for dialogue with board members. The board cannot deliberate or respond directly to a speaker in this format. So that each person who is signed up to speak can be heard by the board, we ask that there be no disruptions of the meeting by members of the audience, no abusive statements or actions, no threats or confrontation, no audible expressions by the audience of approval or disapproval. We ask that you please speak directly into the microphone. The clock on the wall to your right and on the podium will count down your time and will signal when your time is up. I ask that you please respect our procedures and the other speakers and end your remarks promptly when the 2 minutes has expired. Would Johnny Herrera please come to the podium and state your name? Yesenia Valdez. Hector Mireles.
Been a long evening. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. House, board
Thank you
members.
for waiting.
My name is Hector Morales. My Vice President, Daisy Lozano, is here also. It's been a long night. We come here to you to explain or try to at least hear our side. Or basically, my attorney wrote a letter, CC'd you, Dr. House, you, Dr. Allen, and your legal counsel back in July 7th. And for whatever reason, no one has responded back. And then he followed up with 2 more emails to your head legal counsel, and she has failed to respond back. So I'll bring you up to speed. As you're aware, our organization was allegedly or accused of some actions that was not even true. Thank God my attorney was able to prove my innocence through the state of Texas. And so what we're requesting, and we're asking that the letter, hopefully everybody should have got a copy of it from my attorney, basically stating that, our dues from our members should be reinstated effective immediately. I'm hoping that you got it because we gave a copy to everybody. Did you receive? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And it's dated July 7th. It was sent to your interim CFO, but after speaking to him, he stated that it had to go through legal counsel, and legal counsel was going to respond, in which they failed to respond. So basically, I advised him as we got together as our board and said that if they don't respond within a sufficient amount of time, that we go ahead and proceed legal actions through either federal court or state court. And all we're asking for is to let the members choose which organization they want to belong to and allow the union deductions to be deducted. Since our organization's names was cleared, we did not commit any allegations that was brought up upon this district to our organization. So I feel that you should allow the union deduction.
Thank you. Carla Lewis.
Good evening. I concur that it's been a long night. My name is Carla Lewis, and I am an employee of HISD. I have 34 years in education, and I'm here today to express my disappointment with the board's decisions regarding raises to compensate all employees of HISD. Half of my career was in the classroom as a teacher, so I know how hard teachers work, and they do deserve every raise HISD has given them. However, there are other employees that have worked hard in this district to serve the students, families, and schools to keep this district functioning. All employees deserve and are overdue on raises, like bus drivers, food service workers, custodians, secretaries, and yes, central office workers. I now work in the central office. 2 years ago in 2019-20, we received a 1.5% raise. In 27-18, we received a 3.5% raise. If you do not value those who are outside the classroom, we have a problem. It takes everyone, and for the record, a stipend is not a raise. It does not provide a monthly increase to offset the cost of living increases that affect us all. What happened to the days when we would get a raise district-wide, a time when everyone was valued, appreciated, and compensated for their hard work? I do applaud you, though, for your decision on making masks a mandate in our district and keeping everybody safe.
Thank you. Patricia Chambers. Sam Smith. Jesse Espinosa. We are now ready to hear reports and comments from board members. Please.
Dr. Allen, I just, are the students' speeches going to be read? I know we said we would do
I
it.
didn't think they submitted anything.
They did submit it. I sent it to Ms. Trin.
I forwarded to Mr. House as well.
What she say?
Did you say you forwarded something to me?
There are 8 speeches in a Google form. If everybody takes a speech, we can get out of here. And also honor our students' voice.
We have them in board services now after it was emailed to us. So
Were they
if you would like
called?
for us to read them, we can.
Let's read them, please.
Thank you.
I'm asking, not telling. She's taught me.
Jasmine Alvarez. My name is Jasmine Alvarez, a senior at Eastwood Academy High School and HISD Student Congress leader. It was great to meet with Matthew Connor over the summer to discuss ways for StuCon to remain engaged with the administration. We intend to commit to the action steps discussed, which some include recruiting members and collaborating with more organizations. We hope Matthew Connor also commits to his action steps for us to ensure a successful year full of great change. StuCon would like to formally welcome Superintendent Millard House to HISD and commend him on advocating for the mask mandate and the City of Houston for supporting this. Personally speaking, I stand with Superintendent House on the importance of masks. Masks are crucial for the health of students, teachers, staff, and all families across HISD campuses. Speaking on agenda item F1, as you all negotiate and execute an interlocal agreement with the City of Houston to provide mental health services for us, I hope there will be an increase of counselors at HISD schools and HISD collaboration with mental health organizations. Given the circumstances of COVID this past year, students are struggling with their mental health more than ever. I am a victim of this, and as students, we need better allocation of mental health resources in schools. Not only should there be an appropriate counselors to students ratio in each school, I propose that HISD collaborates with national, state, or local mental health organizations with the outreach of the City of Houston. StuCon is open to help contribute to establishing mental health associates and finding mental health student ambassadors. Thank you for your time. That concludes my comment. Terrence Evans. My name is Terrence Evans, a junior at North Forest High and a member of StuCon. Today I'm here to speak on agenda item I-7, which also ties in with A1 and F1. The ESSER grant funds that the district receives should be going towards putting more counselors inside of our schools and giving our wraparound and FACE specialists more tools and resources to better provide for our students and their mental health. We as students deserve the best resources out of the district, as we do attend school in one of the most popular and leading districts in Texas. And the people that are paid to ensure our mental health is A1 should have help while doing so. I personally ask that the board chooses wisely where to place these funds, as we all know what we want to see come of it. And while we are on the topic of resources for students, I'm curious to know if the CFO has provided this esteemed board with information in regards to how many teachers and tutors will be hired with these ESSER funds. We need all the help we can get. We here at StuCon have 3, I apologize for mispronouncing the name. Hello, board members. My name is Kazima Gonzalez, and I am a rising senior from Chavez High School and a member of the Student Congress. I am here not just on behalf of the academic community, but also in the name of the immunocompromised students, teachers, and staff members. I am an overcomer, I am resilient, and I am strong. In 2019, I was diagnosed with lupus nephritis class 3 and 5 after an unexplained pulmonary embolism nearly took my life. In December 2020, I found myself near death again in a hospital bed with COVID-19. Though I never left my house, I was infected by the virus because my mother had to continue working as an assistant manager in MetroClean to keep the lights on. Just like I was impacted by my mother coming in and out of the house because of work, I am fearful that this could happen again with another variant when I go back to school. The fear of getting COVID does not reside only in students or within those who have to go to school every day due to work, but also within parents, families, and loved ones who worry about those who put their lives at risk just to receive a decent education or to support their families. Knowing that there is a way to minimize the damage that such a cruel virus can cause, the governor insisted that a state without a mask mandate was a better idea. You all can prevent students and hundreds of people from being at risk of losing their lives. This is not a good time to doubt medical advice from professionals when we know that wearing a mask minimizes the spread of the virus. So I'm not asking, but I am begging that a mask mandate is raised in all schools and buildings of this school district. That concludes my public comment tonight. Thank you. Number 4, Michelle Leon. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Michelle or Mitchell Leon. I'm a sophomore at Bel Air and HISD Student Congress leader. I support the mask mandate. Nothing is more important than being able to have students in a safe environment. I am very glad masks are not optional because it puts a lot of people in danger, even though there are a lot more things that need to be done to keep students safe, such as students having the option to be virtual. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Matthew Connor for taking the time to meet with us this past Monday. It meant a lot to have Mr. Connor listen to us and actually try to help us, unlike other times when it seemed like there was a battle going on with adults and StuCon. I hope that the board members in StuCon can create great changes. Even though this topic was not on the agenda, it's really important that we all agree on something to help us move forward and accomplish greater things for students. I have a lot of hope that we will do it, but everything starts off with small steps. I am glad that the relationship with HISD and StuCon was not dissolved, but that is not the only thing that needs to be brought up. An action plan and more things need to be discussed with the board members. Thank you. Carlos Alvarado. Good afternoon, board members and our new superintendent house. I'm Carlos Alvarado, a sophomore at Fur High School and HISD Student Congress leader. Today I'm here to talk about the overwhelming news about the mask mandate. I'm glad to say that I am proud that you all have decided to do the mask mandate. Our students and HISD staff all over the city will now be little to no risk of getting COVID. As a student, I am really happy that I'll be wearing a mask in a big high school and being cautious and careful with my health. The other topic I would like to bring up is to greet and welcome our new superintendent house. Welcome to the HISD family and district. It is a big pleasure to have you here and see how you progress with us. Being able to have an official superintendent makes it healthier and has a stronger relationship and bond with HISD. As I am a student Congress member, I would like to say on behalf of us, it would be a pleasure to speak and have a connection with you. I, Carlos Alvarado, thank you again and have a great night, board members and superintendent house. Liza Copley. I am Liza Copley from Chavez High School. As the new school year approaches, there are still some concerns about COVID-19 and the risk of more people getting the virus. Although vaccines are now available, not all students can get it and not everyone is willing to get the vaccination. So considering virtual schooling this year as an option for students is a good idea. Also including mandates for the students who decide to go to school to ensure that they know it is advised to wear a mask in school will surely make this year even safer. Overall, this would be the best decision for the safety of all students, teachers, and the staff too. In conclusion, keeping the option of virtual schooling ensures that students get to decide whether they feel safe and comfortable enough to go back to school. Thank you for your time. Natalie Flores. Hello, board members. My name is Natalie Flores from Challenge Early College High School and a member of StuCon. As we enter into the new school year, there are some concerns for going into the school year with this pandemic. There are some things we can all do since we are all going there in person. For one thing, there should be enforcement of masks to all students, teachers, and other staff members to ensure the safety of everyone with this growing problem. This would be the best thing to do while we are in the middle of this pandemic, and it would make everyone feel a lot safer while we all go through this together. Heidi Chapin. Good evening, HISD Board. My name is Heidi Chapin, and I am a junior at the Houston Academy for International Studies. I'm also an HISD Student Congress leader. The student voice is so critical for making decisions, and we are looking forward to strengthening our relationship with the board in the upcoming years. On Monday, members of Student Congress met with Matthew Connor to discuss our plans for the future, and we would love to focus this next year on mental health resources and making sure every student in HISD can have a voice. Thank you. Number 9, Shanice Johnson. Good evening, board members. My name is Shanice Johnson, and I am an HISD Student Congress member. I would like to address how funds are being distributed within the district. I'm curious to know why funds are being allocated for tasers and other combat items for officers. The funding request in question calls for $950,000 in additional funding for HISD police to pay for body-worn cameras, law enforcement software, and tasers. I strongly ask that you all consider reallocating the funds for more meaningful initiatives, like maybe books or school supplies, so our teachers do not have to depend on Amazon wish lists. We need more masks, sanitary items, textbooks, toiletries, and our hardworking teachers need a reasonable raise, especially during these hard times. We should ask ourselves, do we need police brutality in schools now? I can tell you the clear answer is no. Do you all think that giving officers more items to harm us is for the greater good of Black and brown students? Again, the clear answer is no. HISD police are asking for our tax dollars while they fail to protect us. They are asking for our tax dollars to cause more harm to us. StuCon, alongside the community, called to reject this funding request because there have been no public confirmation that police change in regards to policing in schools has or will occur in response to several demands made last year. Under those recommendations, HISD police would no longer be allowed to pepper spray students, use zip ties, arrest students on campus, or question students without a guardian present. Chief Lopez told the board at the end of last year that he would not make any reforms to his department. That said, extra funding to Chief Lopez and his department shows a lack of accountability on the part of HISD. Schools are supposed to be safe places for children to learn and get support. Money should be going to benefit and enrich us. Lastly, I commend you, Mr. House, for trying to keep us safe and trying to pass a mask mandate. Board members, please continue to keep us in mind when making decisions that impact us the most. Thank you. That concludes my comment. That's it.
We're now ready to hear reports and comments from board members. Please limit your time to 1 minute per trustee. We'll start at Trustee Santos, District 1.
I just want to thank the students for speaking up and out and persevering through this change. Be patient with us. We want to work with you to improve our district. Also, good luck to students and employees this year, even if it feels like we're living through an apocalyptic era. And I want to say may the odds be ever in your favor, but I also want to give a huge shout out to Waltrip Ram Band and Dr. Sorry, I had my notes today. They, oh my God, I really came prepared tonight, and Dr. Allen, why do you always call on me first? Can you come back to me? I really want to give them, oh, I'm sorry. Congratulations to the Waltrip High School Jazz Ensemble. This great band of student musicians has been invited to perform at the 13th Annual Jazz Education Network International Conference in January 2022 in Dallas, Texas. Let's wish them well in their preparation as they once again represent District 1, Waltrip High School, HISD, and our entire city of Houston on the international stage. And last but not least, David Castro was a beloved HISD student. I don't know if you all heard about the gentleman that was shot on the way home from the Astros game, and he was our student. He was a Westside High School student. So my heart goes out to the Westside High School community, the Westside Band, and most of all to his family. I know I've lost students, and that is super painful, but I cannot begin to wrap my head or my heart around the pain that that it is to suffer losing a child. It's unimaginable hurt, grief, and loss. So I want to take time and honor David and bring a resolution next month, if it's the will of the board, where we can create a David Castro Random Act of Kindness Day. David and Paul, I hope to honor your son's legacy by continuing to uphold kindness, goodness, and honor in this world. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. Trustee Hernandez, District 3.
We skipped to, thank you, Sue Khan, for sending in your comments. It was great to hear from you again. Welcome, Mr. House, to your first full board meeting. And everyone, have a good morning.
Patricia Allen, District 4. I want to wish everyone a happy new school year. And I would also like, if you would like to join us on the board, the deadline to apply to do what we do and be where we are is Monday. Trustee Dygar, District 5.
I totally support the idea of a resolution for a random act of kindness day in memory of David Castro. Hug your kids till they let go. And staff, thank you for staying so late. Good night.
Trustee Flynn Villaseca, District 6.
Good evening, good morning, everybody. I also am in full support of a random act of kindness day in honor of David Castro. And I think it's the least that we can do to recognize him as a Westside High School student and his family, and for all of the goodness that he represents and still represents in his legacy. I want to thank Student Congress for your comments this evening. I'm glad we were able to read them. I want to thank the community members for coming out to share your voice on some different agenda items that we had to vote on, including a resolution that I'm in full support of as well. Welcome, Mr. House. Thank you, staff, for your time this evening. And again, August 23rd is 10 days away. And let's hope that the trends go down before then, but if not, let's be prepared. Have a good evening.
Trustee Sung, District 7.
I worked for Paul Castro in 2010 at Wisdom High School. And while his months at that school were few, he showed us how to lead with dignity and honesty under tremendous pressure. And I am so sorry that he's been called to do the same in these circumstances. I, too, support a random act of kindness resolution day, however we can honor the life of this wonderful young student. I wish everybody a happy, healthy school year. I commend my colleagues, Superintendent House, for two important steps tonight. The mask mandate, also acceptance of ESSER funding that's going to help us to keep our students and employees safe. Mr. House, I'm counting on you. 196,171 students, 27,195 employees. This pandemic is not done with its twists and turns. We need to be flexible, strategic in addressing it and making sure that our schools are safe places of learning and joy, despite the challenges. I'm counting on you. And I'll be watching for your reveal later today of our Ready, Set, Go plan. Thank you.
Trustee Cruz, District 8.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. House, on your first meeting with us. I think we'll get better on time. We haven't had this long of meetings in quite a while, and I think it's just, we're all new as a team of 10. I echo my colleagues' sentiments. I probably can't say much more without crying, so I'll leave it at that in memory of David Castro.
Trustee Guidry, District 9.
I'd just like to say, be safe, everyone, and have a great Friday. Good night.
Mr. Superintendent, do you have any reports for us at this time?
Yes, ma'am. I have about another hour and a half worth of reports. So ready or not, here we go. Wake up, get coffee, whatever you need. Let's make it happen. So a couple things that I do want to make sure that everyone is aware of, and I'm not going to belabor the fact, but if you haven't heard by now, Judge Ladago did implement a mask order in Harris County. Also, some legal proceedings may be happening as well. I won't read the entire letter. She did send me an entire letter that essentially says, effective immediately, all people shall wear face coverings on their nose and mouth. She was very specific when in public. School, non-religious private school, licensed child care centers in Harris County, regardless of vaccine status. She gets into some real specificity here. Wanted to make sure that you all were aware. On top of this, there are several other school districts that have come aboard as well in terms of their mask order. As you all know, my staff and I have worked very closely over the course of the last couple of weeks, really diving into the details in our Ready, Set, Go plan. We're excited about the start of the school year. We feel like the adjustments that we've made to this plan and adding the specificity that we've added will allow us to start in a safe manner. We've dived into everything around mask orders that you'll see come out on Friday. So what we want to do from a timing standpoint, we'll get this information to you all on Friday. We'll release it and have conversations with principals. But I want to give you a snapshot real quick of what we have included in terms of the specificity. What it is in terms of the expectations of indoor, outdoor, mask covering, as well as our visitors. We have bullet points for each one of those items. I won't go into those bullet points, but I will share also that we've dived even deeper into the student non-compliance, what happens to a student, what happens to an employee if they don't comply. We have bullet points that explain what each one of those look like. We also have information in this plan that spells out what the self-monitoring expectations are for staff as well. Self-monitoring not only for staff, but also for students at the elementary and secondary level, as well as visitors in our buildings. We also have information in here around vaccinations, COVID-19 access to vaccinations, immunization clinics as well. This plan encompasses the idea of the guidelines, COVID-19 guidelines for students on campus isolation, quarantine. We've dove into the details here. You'll see it. This is what people have been yearning for, and we're providing it. We've also provided insight around contact tracing. We know that's important. We know it's not something that we have to do, but we think it's important to do. COVID-19 notification process is listed here as well, and there's explanation in and around what that will look like as well. Self-monitoring, quarantining, as I mentioned as well. Paid leave, as has been mentioned this evening, has 3 bullets around us being able to provide 10 days for our employees and what it looks like. We also talked a little bit about, and you'll see in the plan, an expectation to be able to encourage our employees to receive the vaccine with a one-time $500 stipend. The details are here. So more than anything, I just want you all to know that we've thought through this. We've been very intentional about what this looks like, and we're excited to be able to not only share this with you, but share this with our community. We think it makes sense. We think we've been very responsible, and we think our community is going to be very excited about what this looks like as well. We want a safe, productive opening, and that's the plan. That's the expectation. We know that we need our students back in front of highly qualified teachers, and by golly, that's what we're going to do on August the 23rd. Last thing that I do want to mention to all of our trustees here is that you've heard it referenced probably 3 or 4 times this evening around the strategic planning and what that's going to look like. I'm extremely excited. We've already had three meetings around what our strategic planning is going to look like. I think we have another one coming up. We're going to dive deep into this strategic planning. I look forward to bringing back to you all a meaningful strategic plan, the timing, how the spending connects to this as well, how it's intertwined with our ESSER dollars as well. I look forward to you all trusting what we're doing, and I look forward to it making a major difference to our community, our students, and what we do as a team of 10. Madam President, that concludes my remarks.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you at our next regular board meeting on September 9th, 2021. Agenda review for that meeting will be held on September 2nd, 2021. There being no further business, this meeting is officially adjourned at 12:32 p.m. Thank you.